All right, guys, as I was saying, sometimes your gas tubes don't align. So when you flip it upside down, I don't know if you can see right where my finger is at. You can see the little hole for the gas port. You can kind of line these holes up, and right where the screw is supposed to be, that's how you adjust it, but flipping it around, obviously, because these are supposed to be down at the bottom. So as you can see, I still have just a tiny little gap here from where the hole was drilled. So that's where you're basically going to want to try to get that aligned too. So when you flip this back around to this side, move this back up, gas tube on the top, and then you just try to realign it using that gap in mind. But that's not the only problem that I saw with this upper. So I was here messing around with the gas tube, playing with this bullshit, and lo and behold, check this out. I'm messing with the delta ring and I'm noticing a little bit of movement. So as I was doing that, I wish I got it on camera, but check this out. Guys, I'm literally screwing my delta ring off by hand. Check this out. So not only did they didn't port this fucking thing right, they didn't even tighten my fucking barrel down. Look at this. Like, what the fuck? Like, look at that. You're not supposed to be able to do that by hand. Like, that's fucked up shit. So now you can see the whole fucking thing just... Like, you're not supposed to be able to screw your upper off by hand like this. So basically, they didn't tighten it down. They didn't do the gas block. So now it's basically like I'm rebuilding a whole fucking new gun, basically, if I decide to fix this clusterfuck. But yeah, that's fucking bullshit. Like, you're not supposed to be able to do that by hand. Like, Palmetto State Armory, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, honestly. Gas tube wasn't lined up. The barrel wasn't even fucking tight onto the receiver. Like, this is no good. I mean, yeah, I could fix it, and tighten it down and torque it to spec, but I mean, I have test fired it. It does fire, but like, come on. Like, are you fucking kidding me? So buyers, beware. If you get this, you're going to have to check your gas block to make sure it's tightened. You're going to have to get an armor's wrench in here. Make sure your barrel is actually tight to your receiver and make sure it's torqued to spec. If you don't have a torque wrench, you're going to need to get one of these bad boys. This one's digital, and torque it down to spec. Yeah, so this is bullshit. Fucking motherfuckers. As a side note, I don't want you guys to be discouraged from ordering from Palmetto State Armory because they do make good products at good prices. Even though I've had some issues with this upper, I'm going to completely, basically rebuild this, get a new black melanated gas tube, pull all this shit off, retighten everything, recenter the gas block, and I'm going to custom build this out. So just because this one came effed up, you know, I'm not going to knock them for it because every manufacturer at some point in time has had issues with their guns. It doesn't matter if it's Springfield, doesn't matter if it's Colt, doesn't matter if it's Glock. They've all had some issues. And I know Palmetto State Armory is producing a lot of stuff and they got a lot of stuff on their hands, but I'm not saying that that's an excuse for them sending out quality like this, but it does happen. But I have been able, you know, in the future, this is the same upper. This is, you know, their Dissapator upper that I have decked out with a quad rail, Surefire light. It's running EOTech. This one was, when it came in, it was spot on. So I wanted to deck this one out. It's got the light. I don't always have the bipod on there, but it's nice to have one on your gun for long range shooting, and if the shit ever hits the fan, just for stabilizing it. But this can come off, this Harris bipod. But this thing is on the money. Like, never had issues with it, and it's a nail driver, man. This thing is like a badass. And then also,
God, it smells like bitch in here.